permission. And I think as a result of this case, I think that we all are going to look a little closer at the methods of people at that age collecting benefits, because it seemed to me that we ought to be running computer scans by Social Security before someone turns 100. I know we're all living longer nowadays than we have historically, but perhaps at age 90, even 85, and I think we've had some conversations, Julie and I, about methods maybe to cross-check people collecting benefits who are not turning in medical expenses, because someone who's 90 years old and is collecting either Social Security or PERS benefits, if they have zero health care costs, that might be a tip that there's something awry here, and that we ought to look into to that person's current status. So I think this case has alerted us all to maybe some methods to detect any other cases where this may be occurring. Do you have any comments on that, Julie?
I just wanted to say that this really is the only case we could recall in OPERS history, and we believe it was because at the time of the death in the late 80s, there wasn't the technology and the reporting that we have today. Over the past 12 months, OPERS has received approximately 9,300 death reports, and of those, 66% do come from the family, and the remaining percent were identified through our auditing. We use Irwin, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, vital statistic reporting, and our own auditing procedures. And we cross-check these death lists, and if we do find that there is a death, we immediately suspend the account and investigate. So this is a very rare situation, but as Ron mentioned, right now we have been sending out audit confirmation checks to those who are over 100 years old. We are most likely going to start sending those out to younger individuals who are over 90 years old.
Any questions? I would be happy to answer, Jeff.
I just have some detailed questions. Where did Ms. Odell live? Where was she from when she died? Where did she live?
She passed away in the Seattle area in Washington. Her husband, who had predeceased her, was a state employee, and she was, when he passed away, she had the right to continue to collect benefits after his death, and she was collecting his benefits when she passed away in the Washington area. She was from around the Toledo area originally, and because her son, the defendant in this case, lived in the Seattle area, she moved after the husband's death out to the Seattle area, but continued to receive the benefits lawfully until she passed away. At that point in time, she actually was brought back here to Ohio, buried in Ohio, and the agents, I think, went up and talked to the people at the funeral home, actually, where she was buried. And so at least that's what we know in that regard. Her son does live in the Seattle area, the defendant. And I've had contact with his lawyer. The agents met with the lawyer and the suspect when they went out to Seattle. We're going to send this out on a summons rather than having him arrested on the West Coast. He'll be in court in several weeks, and it's my belief so far it would appear he cooperated with the agents. I think they would tell you, and so far I believe his lawyer certainly has cooperated with us and has agreed to accept service of the summons via mail, agreed to waive extradition, those kind of things. So I think I describe both Mr. Odell, now that he's been detected, as cooperating with both the agents in our office through his attorney.
I'm sorry, the change of address card then in 2006, was that a change of address from one Washington address to another Washington address? Okay.
Yes.
Is there any reason for the son to believe that possibly he was entitled to these benefits through inheritance, etc.?
I can't say what was in the son's mind. I think he's admitted, well, I guess I can't say what he has said under the guidelines that apply to me. So I guess I'm not sure I can answer that completely, but I think I have no reason to believe that anyone in this or a similar case would believe that they were entitled to collect the benefits.
You're looking at 3 felony charges. What's the total possible criminal penalty for those 3?
The total possible penalty, our theft-related statutes are all dictated by the amounts involved, and here it's between $7,500 and $150,000. So that makes the theft a 4th-degree felony, which can carry up to 18 months. The tampering with records, which is the postcard, can carry up to 3 years, and the identity fraud is the most serious. It can carry up to 8 years. So it would be 8 and 3 and a year and a half.
And do you think, are you confident you're going to be able to get this money back?
I think in any case like this, we seek restitution, and in this case, as I say, we can't say we'll recover it, but at least that's part of every case like this. We seek full and complete restitution, and we would in this case.
Was it just the fact that you had a 100-year-old, 100-year-plus old plus woman collecting benefits that tipped you off to this, or what?
We had been in the process of sending out our audit confirmation letters since she would have been over 100 years old when CMS detected the death, and we picked it up through the CMS records.
If a person's family member dies, what are their obligations to tell you? Or what if they forget and this money keeps getting deposited in their account? What are their obligations, and what happens if money keeps accruing once the person dies?
Well, in the vast majority of cases, we do hear from family members. Oftentimes they want to see if there's anything left on the account for the estate or for themselves. And in those cases where they don't notify us, we do catch it. And if there is an overpayment, usually we're able to just send a request for overpayment letter, and we do get cooperation. But this case was pretty egregious, and we decided to go to the prosecutor's office rather than trying our usual letter collection process.
How many people are in the pension system, and how many are older than 80, roughly speaking?
We can get that number for you. I don't know it off the top of my head. I do know with all of our members, retirees, and inactives, we're close to 1 million.
Ms. Becker,
Yes.
do you have any estimate how much fraud in various capacities costs per year?
This is the only fraud case that we know of that we haven't gotten restitution on. So
So the question is whether it's this sort of fraud or a different sort of fraud, how much a year would PERS lose in fraud, do you think?
we don't know of any other fraud that's going on, so I would say this is the only instance.
After 100, is an audit automatically triggered? I mean, do you automatically audit people after 100, and now we'll automatically be auditing people when they turn 90?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're also going to cross-check healthcare claims, because in this case there were obviously no healthcare claims, although we were deducting for healthcare coverage. So that is also, a warning sign to us to investigate further if we haven't caught notice through CMS.
But that kind of cross-checking hasn't happened before?
Not for under 100 years old.
Okay.
And at least, Jeb, I understand from talking to the United States Attorney's Office in Seattle, because I've been coordinating with the Assistant U.S. Attorney who's assigned to that case out there, and they are pursuing a case in Seattle for the Social Security benefits, that they are geared at that 100-year as well, and as a matter of fact are reviewing that as a result of some of the both longevity and also the likelihood that there may be others.
But it will be a formal process now that after 90, sort of an audit will kick in?
Yes.
That's new?
Yes.
Okay.